Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the 42nd lecture of refrigeration and air conditioning subject. Today, in this session, we will discuss the balance topics of air conditioning system. So, the topic is cooling load conditions, requirements of industrial air condition. Right? So, with this, we can wind up the unit 5. Right? Yes. So, what is the meaning of cooling load for the comfort air conditioning process? It is the thermal energy that must be removed from the space in order to maintain the desired comfort conditions. Okay, so it is a thermal energy that must be removed from the space. Space means the room available. It is a thermal energy that must be removed from the space in order to maintain the desired comfort conditions. So we have to remove the thermal energy, that is a heat that must be removed from the space so that we can maintain the comfort conditions. HVAC systems are used to maintain the thermal conditions in a comfort range. And what is the meaning of HVAC? HVAC means heat ventilation air conditioning systems. These are used to maintain the thermal conditions in a comfort range. Next, if you see the applications, various applications of this thermal energy. So, for the external office buildings, for the external zones, required cooling capacity in tons for 1000 square feet square of floor area. Okay, required cooling capacity tons for 1000 feet square of floor area. So here the external zones for glass, 25% glass is equals to 3.5 tons. So for external zones means for office buildings. So in office buildings is sometimes if you see four sides you can see the glass doors. Okay, glass mirrors, glass windows. So you can see sometime two sides only. You can see sometime only one side. So based upon the total amount of glass how much you are using out of concrete is, if it is 25% glass we are using 3.5 TR. If it is 50% glass, we are using 4.5 TR. If it is 75% glass, we are using 5 tons of capacity. So for the internal zones, this one is a 2.8 tons. Next for the computer rooms, 6 to 12 tons we are using. Next for the hotels and the bedrooms. For the single room, we are using zero point 0.6 ton per room. For the double room, we are using 1 TR per room. Then coming to the restaurants, we are using 5 tons to 9 tons TR. For the department stores on the basement and ground floors, we are using 4.5 to 5 tons capacity. For upper floors, we are using 3.5 to 4.5 tons. Next for the shops, we are using 5 tons capacity. For the banks, we are using 4.5 to 5 tons capacity. For the theaters and auditoriums, we are using 0.07 tons per seat. Means per seat, we are calculating 0.07 tons per seat for theaters and auditoriums. So this is a load calculations generally we are using for the application, that is in tons, that is for 1000 feet square of floor area. Next, what are the principles of cooling load estimate? What are the principles of cooling load estimate? So the enclosure heat transfer characteristics of the cooling load estimate are conduction, convection, radiation. So what are the enclosures? The enclosure heat transfer characteristics are conduction, convection, and radiation. So the design conditions of the cooling load estimate are outdoor conditions and indoor conditions. Next, the heat gains are internal and external or solar energy. Next, coming to the thermal capacity, we are using the cooling load. Next, coming to the space characteristics. So coming to the space characteristics, we are seeing the orientation. The orientation means the place where we are positioning. Orientation means where we are seeing, and the size and shape of the AC, the size and shape of the AC. Next, coming to the construction material, what type of construction material we are using for the building? What type of construction material we are using for the building? And what are the types of windows? What are the types of doors and openings we are using for this cooling load estimation? Means the type of windows, the doors and openings. Next, coming to the surrounding conditions. So, for the external building or external apartment, whatever it is, what are the surrounding conditions? Is there any total hill area, or it is a concrete buildings, or it is a open place we are using, so that we can see in this surrounding conditions. Okay, the surrounding conditions, the orientation, the size and shape of the air condition, the construction material, the windows, doors, and openings. Next, the sealing process. Sealing process means the floor height from the ground. How much floor you are using? What is the sealing conditions we are using? Next, coming to the occupants. Occupants means how many people are occupying in the place. That is the activity, the number and duration. Next one is appliances. Appliances means the home appliances or office appliances or commercial building appliances we are what we are using. Next, air leakage. What is the air leakage? The air leakage means infiltration or exfiltration. Means the air, whenever the air condition is in operation, whatever the air is exhausting or whatever the air is inhaling, we can see by using the air leakage. Next, lighting means how much amount of lighting you are using for the commercial buildings or apartments or whatever it is, we can see in this lighting things. Next, coming to the indoor conditions. Here we are seeing the outdoor conditions, the space characteristics we are using now. It is indoor design conditions. Coming to the indoor design conditions, so what are the basic parameters we are using for the indoor design conditions, right? So here the design parameters are air temperature. What is the temperature of the air? Typically we are using 22 to 26 degrees centigrade for the indoor applications. What is the velocity of the air? Means the speed how much we are using. Means the velocity is 0.25 meters per second. Per second it is 0.25 meter. Coming to the relative humidity. Next, coming to the relative humidity, how much humidity you have to maintain in the air, that is 30 to 70 degrees centigrade, and the comfort zone we have to maintain for this indoor design temperature, right? Next, coming to the indoor air quality, means based upon these design parameters, the air temperature, the air velocity and relative humidity, what is the quality of the air we have to see, right? So coming to the quality of this one, what are the air contaminant? So in the air, what are the other hazardous or other pollutants we are having? which is prevailing in the air, that is air contaminants what we are using. Next, air cleaning means purifying, we are purifying the air so that the quality of the air will be good. Next, outdoor design conditions. What are the outdoor design conditions? Whether the data required for the load calculation, that is temperature and humidity, wind speed and sky clearness, ground reflectance, etc. The design outdoor conditions data can be found in other data books. So if you see the cooling load components, we are seeing the cooling load components. So if you see the air conditioned room, see here what are the things you are having in the air conditioned room for cooling load components. So he see here you are having a lights. Okay, you are having a partition wall. This one is a partition wall for a RAM for any room, and this is equipment table. That is a computer. You are having a racks, and these are the persons you are doing. The person is doing some work. Infiltration means coming of air inside the room, and the glass conduction. So this is the glass conduction where we are using, and exterior wall. So the exterior wall, what we are uh, kept ready during construction, and this one is the sunlight coming from the window directly and falling onto the person. So this is a floor. So these are the cooling load components whenever we are using room, air conditioned room. Now coming to the total cooling load, we are having external heat gain and internal heat gain. External heat gain and internal heat gain. Next. So in the external heat gain process, we are having the transmission, that is a sensible heat. We are having the solar radiation, that is a sensible heat. We are having the air, that is sensible, and ventilation, that is latent. Air is sensible and ventilation is latent heat. Coming to the internal heat gain process, we are using internally we are using lighting, that is sensible heat. Next, we are using the other equipments you are using in the room, that is sensible and latent, and the occupants, that is the number of people, how many we are in the room, right? Next, the conditioned space for this boundary. So the conditioned space is the rectangle. Therefore, we have to see the total sensible heat and we have to see the total latent heat. So what are the sensible, how many sensible heat we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sensible heat we are having. Next, 1, 2, 3, we are having 3 latent heat. So all together can be sum up to form a cooling load. So like this, the load calculations can be done for the external and internal heat gain process. Next, if you see the heat load components. So percentage of people is 3%. So all these categories are taking the percentage for the load components. That is percentage of people is equal to 3%. Next, indoor lighting is 4 to 8% we are using, and solar transmission is 3 to 7%, and infiltration process is 8%. So altogether, outdoor air and electric equipment tools altogether load we are seeing 75% to 85% load component it is acting. Next, coming to the what is a load. The load, the total heat required to be removed. See here, the total heat required to be removed from the space in order to bring it as a desired temperature by the air conditioning and refrigeration equipment is known as cooling load. What is the meaning of cooling load here? The total heat required to be removed from the space. Space means the 3D space or the air conditioned room space. The total heat that is required to be removed from the space, thereby the temperature by air conditioning and refrigeration equipment is known as cooling load. Is known as cooling load. Next one is the purpose of load estimation is to determine. So what is the main purpose of this one? The purpose of load estimation is to the purpose of the purpose of load estimation is to determine the size of air conditioning and refrigeration equipment that is required to maintain inside design conditions during the periods of maximum outside temperatures. The design load is based on inside and outside design conditions, and it is air conditioning and refrigeration equipment capacity to produce the maintain satisfactory inside conditions, right? So these are the things what we can expect from the cooling load calculations. So the indoor and the outdoor design conditions during the periods of maximum outdoor temperatures. The design load is based on inside and outside design conditions, and this air condition and refrigeration equipment capacity to produce a maintain satisfactory inside conditions. Okay, next. What are the components of cooling load? Coming to the components of the cooling load. What are the components of cooling load? Coming to the components of cooling load, so two main components of cooling load imposed on the air conditioning plant operating during the hot weather as follows. So there are mainly two components of cooling the load on an air conditioning plant operating during the hot weather as follows. So the two main things are, first one is sensible heat gain, and second one is latent heat gain. So what are the sensible heat gain? Let us see now. Now, coming to the sensible heat gain, when there is a direct addition of heat, when there is a direct addition of heat to be enclosed, when there is a direct addition of heat to the enclosed space, a gain in the sensible heat is said to occur. This sensible heat is to be removed during the process of summer air conditioning. Okay, the sensible heat gain may occur due to any one or all the following sources. So the sensible heat gain occurs based upon the following heat transfer process. So among that, the first one is the heat flowing into the building by conduction through exterior walls. The heat flowing into the building by conduction process. Okay, the heat is flowing through the building by conduction process through the exterior walls. through the floors, through the ceilings, doors, and windows due to the temperature differences on the outside two conditions. So, how the heat is entered into the building? So, it can be transmitted by the conduction process through walls, exterior walls, through floorings, through ceilings, through doors, windows, etc. Then the heat received from solar radiation, the heat, whatever the heat is received, the heat received from the solar radiation, the heat received from solar radiation, it consists of first one, the heat transmitted directly through the glass of windows, ventilators, or doors. So the heat received from the solar radiation also, which consists of the heat is transmitted directly. It is transmitted through the glass, through the glass of windows, ventilators, or doors. And last but one point is the heat transmitted, the heat transmitted directly through the glass of windows. So what are the direct transmission of this rays? So the direct transmission is through the glass of windows, through the ventilators, through the doors, etc. The heat absorbed by the walls and roofs exposed to the solar radiation and later to the transfer to the room by conduction process. Right? Next. Third point is next. The third point is the heat conducted through interior partition. The heat is conducted. So whatever the partition you have done for any room, the heat conducted through interior partition from the rooms in the same building which are not conditioned, The heat given off by lights, motors, machinery, cooking operations, industrial processes, etc. Okay. So what are the next point? The heat given by the heat given off. The heat given off by the lights which are inside the room. Okay, the lights, the motors of any electrical appliances, the machinery, the cooking operations, the industrial processes, etc. Next, the heat is liberated by the occupants. Heat is liberated. Heat is coming out from the occupants. That is, how many people are there in the room. So each person is having it's his own temperature based upon the food habits and the work what he is doing. So occupants are also will liberate the heat. The heat carried by the outside air which leaks in through the cracks in the doors, windows, and through their frequent openings. Okay. So what is the other option? The heat carried by the outside air. So whatever the heat is carrying room, from the room through outside by the air conditioning, the heat carried by the outside air which leaks in through the cracks in the doors, windows, etc. The heat gained through the walls of ducts carrying the conditioned air through unconditioned space in the building. So what is the next point? The heat gain through the walls. Whatever the heat is taking by the building, the heat gain through the walls of the ducts carrying air condition through unconditioned space in the building. Next, the heat gain from the fan work. So whatever the heat is gaining from the electronic and electrical appliances, that is a fan, exhausters, and the air conditioner, etc. These are also it is gaining from the fan work. Next, the second thing is latent heat gain. Latent heat gain. When there is an addition of water vapor to the air of enclosed space. So when there is a space which is totally enclosed, and when there is a air And in the air, when there is an addition of water vapor, a gain in the latent heat is said to occur. Some sort of heat gain will occur in the latent heat. This latent heat is to be removed during the process of summer air conditioning. So when this latent heat is removed during the process of summer air conditioning. The latent heat gain may occur due to any one of the following sources. So first point is the heat. See here, the heat gain due to the moisture in the outside air entering by infiltration process. Okay, the heat gain due to the moisture. So whatever the moisture is present in the air, the heat gain due to the moisture, the heat gain due to the moisture in the outside air entering by infiltration process. That is the first point. The heat gain due to the condensation of moisture from the occupants. So whatever the heat is gained by the number of people present in the room and having the condensation of moisture. Next, the heat gain due to the condensation of moisture from any process such as cooking foods which takes place within the conditioned space. Next, the heat gain due to the the heat gain due to the moisture passing the heat gain due to the moisture passing the heat gain due to the moisture passing directly into the conditioned space through the permeable walls of partitions from the outside or from adjoining regions where the water vapor pressure is higher. So what is the next point it is saying? The heat gain due to the moisture passing directly into the conditioned space through the permeable walls. Permeable walls means the amount of light or the amount of air is passing into the wall. Permeables means having the capacity of sucking or taking the air or light. Partitions from the outside from adjoining regions where the water vapor pressure is higher. Next topic is requirements of industrial air conditioning. See here, sensible heat gain and latent heat gain. Next, the next topic to be discussed is requirements of industrial air conditioning. So, what are the requirements we are using for the industrial air conditioning process? So, what are the requirements to be used for the industrial air conditioning? So, it is very important system. It is an important system of air conditioning these days. It is an important system of air conditioning these days, which is the inside dried bulb temperature and relative humidity of the air is kept constant for the proper working of the machines. Now, see here, it is very important system. It is an important system of air conditioning these days. So which is in which the inside dry bulb temperature and relative humidity of the air is kept constant for the proper working of the machines and for proper research and manufacturing processes. Some of the sophisticated electronic and other machines, some of the sophisticated electronic and other machines need a particular dry bulb temperature and relative humidity. Sometimes, sometimes these machines also require a particular method of psychrometric processes. Whatever the electronic devices we are using, they also require some particular method of psychrometric processes. This type of air conditioning system is used where this type of system is used in the textile mills, paper mills, machine parts manufacturing plants, tool rooms, photo processing plants, etc. Okay, so these are the basic concepts of industrial air conditioning system. So then what are the requirements of industrial air conditioning? The basic requirements are: first one is capacity of cooling coil in terms of refrigeration. Capacity of cooling coils. First one is a capacity of cooling coils in terms of refrigeration. Second one, capacity of the heating coil in terms of kilowatts. Third one, amount of water removed per hour. How much amount of water is removed per hour. Next, bypass factor of the heating coil. So these are the requirements of industrial air conditioning process. Right, so see here industrial air conditioning system, how it is installed in the industry, how it is installed in a industry. Okay, to do industrial air conditioning system. Next we'll see the problems. The following data refers to an air conditioning system to be designed for an industrial process for hot and wet climate. So the following data refers to the air conditioning system to be designed for industrial process for hot climate as well as a wet climate. So the outside conditions is equals to 30 degrees centigrade DDP and 75 percentage RH. The required inside conditions is equals to 20 percentage 20 degrees centigrade DDP and 60 percentage RH. Next, the required conditions to be achieved by the first cooling and demidifying and then heating by heating. If 20 meter cube of air is absorbed by the plant every minute, find find capacity of cooling coil in terms of refrigeration. 2. Capacity of heating coil in terms of kilowatts. 3. The amount of water removed per hour. 4. Bypass factor of the heating coil if the surface temperature is 35 degrees centigrade. So what is the given data according to the question? The given data is TD1 is equal to 30 degrees, pi value pi1 is equal to 75%, TD3 is equal to 20%, pi3 is equal to 60%, V1 is equal to 20 meter cube per minute, and TD4 is equals to 35 degrees centigrade. Then the capacity of heating cooling coil in terms of refrigeration. Okay, now based upon this, we'll see the enthalpy from the graph at a dry bulb temperature, that is TD2 20 30 and 35, and specific humidity, the weight is equals to mass is equals to W1 W2. So at the 30 degrees centigrade it is pointing here, at the 20 degrees centigrade it is pointing here, therefore the H1 H3 and H2. So based on that, the enthalpy of air at point 1 is equals to H1 is equals to 81.8 kilojoules per kg of dry air, and the enthalpy of air at point 2, enthalpy of air at point 2, H2 is equals to 34.2 kilojoules per kg of dry air. Next, the mass of air absorbed by the plant, MA is equals to V1 by Vs1, that is equal to 20 by 0.866, that is equals to 22.6. and the capacity of the cooling coil is equals to the capacity of the cooling coil is equals to formula MA of H1 minus H2, that is 22.6, 81.8 minus 34.2. So the total after doing the calculation we are getting 1075.76, right? Next, the capacity is equals to 1075 divided by 22.210, that is equal to 5.1 TR. Next, the capacity of heating coil in kilowatts. From the psychrometric charts, the value of H3 is equals to 42.6. Therefore, the capacity of heating coil is equals to MA of H3 minus H2, that is equal to 22.6. So on, so the value is 190. Next, the amount of water removed per hour. From the psychrometric chart, at the point 1, W1 is equals to 0.0202. Therefore, the specific humidity at the point 2 W2 is equals to 0.0088 kg per kg of dry air. Therefore, the amount of water removed per hour is equals to MA of W1 minus W2, that is equals to 22.6 of W1 value minus W2. So finally we are getting 0.2258 into 60, that is equal to 15.48. Now the bypass factor of the key heating coil, PPF. PPF is equals to TD4 minus TD3 divided by TD4 minus TD2. So 35 minus 20 divided by 35 minus 12.2. Value is this one. So till here we'll stop the class. Strictly speaking, the human comfort depends upon the psychological and physiological and psychological conditions, right? They're generally any human, so it depends upon the geographical area. It may be in India, or it may be in foreign countries, or it may be in other areas, whatever it may be. The human comfort is totally and strictly based upon the psychological and physiological conditions. Therefore, it is difficult to define the term human comfort. There are many definitions given by this term by different bodies, but the most accepted definition from the subject point of view is given by the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineers, ASHRAE. Okay, so according to this American Society, the definition of human comfort is equals to human comfort is that the condition of a mind which expresses the satisfaction with the thermal environment. So, what is the definition? It is defined as the human comfort is the condition of the mind which expresses a satisfaction. So, whatever the mind is thinking, and based upon the mind, the satisfaction with the thermal environment. So, the total it should be in a thermal environment, and the mind should satisfy the theme what you are planning with respect to the thermal environment. Okay, so this is nothing but the human comfort. So till up to here we'll stop the class. So tomorrow we'll discuss the balance topics so that we can complete the unit 5, right? So we'll discuss tomorrow. Have a nice day. Thank you.